what I would like to talk about today, and I want to start by thanking Brian. I consider Brian a good friend, and I've not seen your presentation, and how impressive. And to tie it all the way back, boy, does that make me hopeful. It makes me hopeful that there are models out there that are really moving us forward. And I think that's what we need more of. And so what I'm hoping to present today is just another model. The work that we're doing is really all about a K through 12 evolution. It is not about a revolution, although I guess some would say that I'm big into revolution. What I hope to share with you are just some ideas of the work that we're doing in Baldwin. This is just really all about focusing on the future and giving a sense of the kind of work that we've been doing to get there. We sort of had a call to rethink how we do schools, much the way Brian talked about, and it is not about making people think like the past wasn't valuable. I mean, clearly, the past got us to where we are today, but it's not 1950 anymore. And so this idea that we need to think a little bit about what it means for us to be doing things differently. And so these are just some of the most recent headlines about how you rethink school. Just very quickly, we're big believers in backward design. And so what we try to do is think about work and the future of work and what does that mean for us? And this is just a short little video that asks some important questions about the future of work.
This is not humans versus machines. This is humans enabled by machines.
America can choose to reinvest in a larger set of people and places.
The question for employers is, how do they think about giving their workers the kind of flexibility that they need?
And so some of the things they talk about there are learning from the past, exploring solutions, flexibility, and retooling and reimagining. And so if business is thinking about that, our sense here is how is it possible not to do the same when it comes to schools, because we are the preparation for where our students will be. And so the future of work, we think, is really what should help us and guide our thinking when it comes to the future of education. Just to give you a little bit of background about our district, unlike Brian's school, although we're a district, we're about the same size. We have a very diverse community. We're currently approximately 50% Black or African American, about 11% white, about 34% Hispanic, and the remainder of our students, which is less than 10%, are multiracial or American Indian or Native Alaskan. Our demographics are very diverse, but one of the things we're most proud of is the fact that we do not have an achievement gap. When we look at our high school, we in 2019 we're at a 98% graduation rate. But if you look at the counties surrounding us, the state and national, and you compare that with students with disabilities and are economically disadvantaged, the numbers for us are very much in line. And the only one that looks like there's a bit of an achievement gap is our students with disabilities, but included in that number are our most disabled students. And those are students that will not get a high school diploma because in New York, to get a high school diploma, you need to pass at least 4 exit exams, between 4 and 5 exit exams in content areas. And students that have severe disabilities really have no chance at passing those. So we are preparing those students for the world of work. and their future, but our students with disabilities do graduate at an 83% graduation rate. So what I like to do is share examples and pictures of what it looks like, much like Brian did. I think being able to see it makes a difference. And so when we look at our schools, we started this year an awareness campaign. Same again as Brian, we need to communicate this. I think many times we don't say the things out loud. And so we know what we're doing, but sometimes our community doesn't. And so we started an awareness campaign this year that was, believe it or not, modeled off of Delta Airlines. I was doing so much travel last year that I kept going through the breezeway, and they had this whole PR campaign. I said, we should be doing that in Baldwin. And so, so we did. And so these are pictures of our students and the way that we kind of classified what it looks like. And so these exist in all of our buildings at this point. So our community knows this is what artistry looks like. And this is what collaboration looks like. This is what community looks like, and critical thinking. This is what curiosity looks like, and what discovery looks like, what hands-on learning looks like, and what innovation looks like. So Brian, this is our high school former library, which is now called our Learning Collaboratory. Again, all designed around this idea that we need places for students to collaborate with one another. But this is for us what innovation looks like and what inquiry looks like. What mindfulness looks like, being able to build in that whole social, emotional learning and wellness component. And this is what talent looks like for us, and a wellness class, which is all about mindfulness at the high school. But ultimately, this is what learning looks like. And these are our high school students, our AP environmental high school students. And so one of the ways that we try to communicate with our community is through visuals. In the end, though, this is our guiding document. This is the work that is really driving us. So what does future driven in Baldwin look like? And we have our vision, our purpose, our cornerstones, our strategic innovations, and at the base of it all, it's all about trust. But what I'd like to highlight are some of the words, because these are our guiding principles. That it's about an incubator of learning, and some of the key words here are design, engineer, facilitate learning experiences, where learners are producers and pioneers and explorers, collaborators and innovators. And as we do new and do more, it has to fit within this framework. What we like to talk about is that there may be 1,000 good ideas out there, but if the ideas don't fit within this framework, it's still a good idea, but it's not going to move us forward. And so we ask that any new ideas fit within the framework of our Baldwin 2035 initiative. We try to make sure that we're emulating the workforce skills for 2035 and that what it looks like for us. And so I have a few videos to share with you what some of that learning looks like.
Some kids are making their own Thanksgiving Day parade.
It's happening at a school on New York's Long Island. WABC's Stacey Sager has the details.
This started as one of those pandemic ideas. If the kids couldn't get to the Thanksgiving Day parade, then the parade was going to come to them, virtually, that is.
So we're going to keep following.
Well, now it has stayed here at Brookside Elementary in Baldwin. Here's how it works. Kindergartners partner with second graders to create their favorite parade balloons. And with some coding lessons and these sphero balls, the balloons, controlled by the kids, make their way down a parade route.
Go ahead, you're going to drag it all the way to give it the most power and speed. There you go.
It's creative design mixed with tech, coding, and social studies.
We learned a lot about the inventor, Tony Sarg.
He created the first balloons for the Macy's parade. Plus, there's nothing like watching Sonic, for example, and his co-star Knuckles coming down the parade route with a kindergartner at the helm.
so funny to see, kindergartners and second graders talking to each other like that, using directions.
Baldwin's videographer, Sean Moran, teaching the kids how to use the camera to create parade footage.
So once he's done shooting here at the green screen, that's when the magic really starts to happen. It's like the balloons are really at the Thanksgiving Day parade.
And whether it's Hello Kitty, Olaf, or any others who fly across screen or sky, do you have a favorite?
Yeah, Spider-Man.
It's a holiday lesson to be thankful for as the real deal flows in. In Baldwin, I'm Stacey Sager, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
What a fantastic idea. My kids would do Harry Potter,
So what we're trying to get across there is this notion of students as producers. And that is something that we talk about from kindergarten, from actually pre-K all the way through 12th grade. You can see that's computer science, it's literacy, it's math, it's coding, it's all of that all rolled into one, but it's just fun. And so going back, like, this is what makes people excited for the future. Again, going back to this concept of hopefulness. Couple of other videos to show you what students as producers at the elementary level looks like. This is an example of a STEAM learning expedition. We're really careful not to call things trips anymore because it just sounds extraneous. And so we have leaving to learns and learning expeditions. And that's how we refer to the learning that happens outside of our school. So just a really short video of what STEAM learning.
Fifth grade students from Steele Elementary School partnered with special environmentalists from CTUC to expand their knowledge of the natural world. On this amazing adventure, parents assisted in seining the river to find and collect specimens. As students searched through their findings, they used a dichotomous key to identify and classify materials and specimens. Equipped with special tools and supplies, our citizen scientists collected data from their fieldwork.
So that just gives you a short example of what, at the elementary level, students as producers. What's really interesting, though, is that that same idea really carries forward to just an AP environmental class. So the pictures that you're looking at here, these are high school students, and it looks very much like what you just saw with elementary school students. So the content might be different, and the ultimate learning might be different, but the way in which students are engaging in that learning, what we do at the elementary level is preparing them for that college level work by the time they get up to high school. I'm going to skip this for the interest of time. At the middle level, we have something called Better World Day, which really spans the course of the entire week. But this project is all about one essential question. How does water shape our world? And all of the learning that's happening multidisciplinary is guided around this essential question. At the high school, we have 7 academies. All of this information is on our website, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because there's a lot of it, but I want to give you a sense of what this means for us. So these are our 7 academies. Education comes out of the need for teachers and diversity within teachers. Fine and performing arts, in a crazy kind of way, started September of 2020, because when makes the most sense to start a fine and performing arts category, but in the midst of a pandemic. Our Business and Entrepreneurship Academy, Law and Government, Medical and Health Science, which is probably our most popular one, New Media, and STEM and Engineering. What's interesting about our academies, though, is that it is triangulated. So in every academy, there is rigorous coursework that includes college level work, whether it's through dual credit or AP courses. There are internships and shadow days in all of our academies, and there are exhibitions and competitions that really help test the transfer of knowledge into real world learning. And so all of our academies are triangulated using those 3. Just to give you a sense, and I'm just going to scroll through this so you can take a look. In our Education Academy, they are taking courses that are both local, like critical issues in education, but they're also taking mindfulness courses, and then courses that are available to everyone, like AP Psych and AP Research. all of these courses are lined up with courses in this particular case, Malloy College, Malloy University now, so that our students, when they graduate high school, having gone through this full program, could go into Malloy University as full-blown second-year students, not because they have the course, the credits, but because they have the actual courses. So upon graduation from high school, our students can become teachers in 3 years in college. They can stay a 4th year and go on for their master's degree as well. This is another video about that, but I don't think we have time for that. These are some of our Fine and Performing Arts Academy classes, which include music theory, AP music, AP art, theater arts. But you can see the integration of AP courses, college level courses, and locally designed courses. Our Business and Entrepreneurship Academy, same thing, lots of different options for students. And I think it's important to recognize that our students are not, this is not a school within a school, and it is not, you are not locked into this. You can start an academy, you can decide you hate a particular academy and switch over to a different academy. I'm just scrolling through, you can see the courses that our students partake in, which again are all on our website. But what I think probably one of the more interesting examples, we had a student who was in our medical academy and realized in year 1 that this was not for him, that he did not love the sight of blood. He did not want to be a doctor or a radiologist or any of that. Went into our Law and Government Academy the next year, loved the field of law, graduated high school knowing that he wanted to be a lawyer in the field of medicine, which is some level of specificity that is crazy for a high school student to know upon graduation at age, 18. But that's what we seek to do. And all of these academies force the learning through action. So when you're in law and government, you're in moot court, you're in mock trial, it is connected to extracurricular activities so that it goes outside the regular school day as well. Our kids in our Medical and Health Sciences Academy, those kids have been in surgeries, they've been shadowing radiologists. People in our Business Academy have shadowed CFOs of the most popular and the biggest health system on Long Island. One other example through Fine and Performing Arts, this is an example of students as producers through the arts. These are actually projection mapping. And if you've ever been to Napa, some of the bigger cities, this is a community event. This was a budget vote. And this is all our student work. It is called 6-word memoirs, and it shows the work of our students on the walls of the exteriors of our building. So short video.
Unknown for years, famous in months.
Home is where La Familia is.
Friends are your second support system.
From Ovaltine and Lipton. I'm from the loud mornings and louder nights, filled with sparks of arguments and agreements. I'm from the grand oak tree in the back. I'm from Ramadan or Diwali, from grand ideas and loud voices. From Khan and Ramna, I'm from the interruption to the witty, dry humor. From all skin, teeth, no laugh, to smiles aren't the only things you can buy. From Islam to Hinduism, all the way to just meism. I'm from the East and West Indies. From roti, curry, and brownies. But most of all, I'm from Baldwin.
So the whole idea behind this is, how do you make learning meaningful? How do you make it relevant? How do you integrate the different areas that we're asking students to learn? How do you get them excited about their learning? And what do we have them producing so that the entire community sees the work that they're doing? And that is an example of work that the entire community had the benefit of seeing. Last example, we have integrated news literacy into our curriculum from grade 6 through grade 12. And in addition to that, a college level course through Stony Brook University that students can get credit for. Why? Because if there is one skill I think that our kids need when they graduate, our kids need to know the difference between true and false information. And so starting in 6th grade, integrated into the curriculum, that is built in. In high school, they can take a college level course that is just specifically on news and information literacy. I'm going to flip through a whole bunch of pictures that just show you what learning looks like in our school system. I hope what you see, this is through virtual enterprise, and this was 100% built by our students, from the lighthouse to everything in the lighthouse, the graphics, everything is theirs. And what classrooms look like for our students. So we try to call them learning spaces and not classrooms, because it's just where learning happens. This is a kindergarten classroom. These are our kids reading on comfortable seats. Crazy idea. This is a high school science class, middle school social studies, kid with the most beautiful eyes you've ever seen.
Yes, seriously.
Middle school social studies, high school government. This is our professional learning lab, where our teachers learn to learn in that environment. This is our high school learning collaboratory, formerly known as the library. I won't go into that, we don't have time. But the idea is, how do you create an environment that that promotes participation by our students and makes them an integral part of the learning environment? And what does that look like for them? And so that's the work that we're doing in Baldwin. It's all about students as producers. It's about starting with the concept of how do you build a system that gets students ready for the world of work.
Sherry, I think Mike Katie's face, if you weren't watching Mike, his face was pressed against the screen, trying to read your slides and to stay up with the majesty of your presentation and the spirit. I think you brought a smile to all of our faces, and thank you for doing that. Karen, I want to give you the chance with the final comment today, but Ray, I'm reminded of when you and I were trying to construct agendas of the following. So here's what I came up with as a summary. Sherry and Jamie is not here, and Brian, I want to thank you. And here's the through line. We are the co-authors writing together what learning can be with hope.
Nice. Nice. Well, I just want to reiterate what Mort said. I'm just amazed and impressed with what these school districts, the work that you're leading, Sherry and Brian. Both of these districts are lighthouse districts under AASA. So certainly, they're school districts to watch and learn from. And certainly I know today I'm inspired. I'm walking away inspired. But I think the point I want to make is, in both of these districts, you're redefining and expanding the definition of success. And you've created a different culture. And I think that's what's important when we talk about transformation, is the culture has to be dramatically different. Not only do you have to establish the need and the motivation to be different and making the case for that, but it's also showing the way. And Sherry, I really, both of you, Brian and Sherry both, and when you do that, you also have to take responsibility for telling your story in a different way. And man, y'all have done that in a really powerful way. And I'm sure that's, so exciting and motivating and empowering for the broader community. So thank you all for the work that you're leading. Certainly you're both very hopeful and aspirational leaders for the future. So thank you both.
So thank you all. Wishing you a happy and a hopeful new year. Take care.
Thanks, everyone.
Be well, everyone. Happy New Year.
Thanks, Sherry. Thank Brian. Wonderful.